That's the beauty of gaming by the internet. Nobody needs no pants. Alright, we're going live. I think. Yeah, hey everybody. Welcome back. My name's Todd, and we're going to play some Dungeons & Dragons. We are a bit later getting going, so we're just going to go around the horn. Welcome back. This is episode 35. Be sure to check out our previous... my mic's a bit hot. Just one sec. Easy does it there, King Turbo. Alright, so yeah, we are playing Descent into Avernus / our homebrew. And we do interactive audience participation, so please jump in on the chitty chat and do that. Also, don't forget, if you like our stuff, you can check us on YouTube or any of the podcast places. And if you like our stuff, please, review and spread the word, because, we're having fun here. We want you to have fun and other people too. Take care, and let's dive around. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. How about...
jump right in.
All right, let's do it. So
we're all great. Let's go.
We're amazeballs. No, it's we've been playing for a little while. I'm just trying to sort out all the things here. There we go. I know what was missing. I couldn't see Jay. Welcome back to the table, Jay. We're going to come around. We'll go this way around, starting with Darcy, and then Jay, then Bella, then Gordon, then Carl, and I'm Todd. And Internet... Oh, Jay just ran for it. There he is. And Internet, you're in this too, so hit us up in the chat. All right, Darcy, who the heck are you?
Hey, I'm Darcy. You can find me at twitch.tv/DarcyBest, I play Henrietta, the pacifist paladin of Pelor. Playing up with me right now. Let's go.
I feel like we should have a contest for who can say that the fastest, 5 times or something. I think I do that joke.
Read out all of my characters. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Pretty much. All right, and Henrietta is in hell and a bit of the odd person out, so we'll circle back. Coming up next, he's back. Well, he's been with us the whole time, but he's been back away for a little while due to scheduling. The true big bad endgame of Dungeons and Dragons. But welcome back to the table, Jay. Tell us, who the heck are you?
It's going to be having a little bit of connection problems here. But,
yeah, you're a little...
I'll be playing with daring and dashing Archibald Cunningham, as usual.
Nice. The duelist rogue.
I'm going to need to catch up as to where we are.
For sure, man. Your mic's cutting down a little bit, but we'll get you up to speed for sure.
Okay.
Nice.
I have new gear here.
And then, so we will bring you up to speed, and the listeners and viewers as well. Next up, Bella. How the heck are you?
I am pretty A-okay. Hope everybody else is doing good. I am Bella, and I am playing Darmia, the fallen Azamar Gloomstalker.
Absolutely. And fallen Azamar found herself down in hell. That could be fun when your chosen one of your chosen prey is fiend. So that comes in handy.
It sure does.
You're gonna be the
pretty useful.
Having a little bit of fun down here.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. She'll be the belle of the ball down here. Oh, sorry, I'm making the cheesiest jokes these days. You are forewarned, all of you. All right, Gordon. What's up, Gordon?
Hey, Gordon, playing the very much non-pacifist Sorcerer of Shadow.
Yeah, you started out as the youngest character, impressionable. If Levi only knew how much you have grown, I think he'd be proud. Where is Levi? I would totally put him in this game at any point. I'd figure that out. So we wish him all the best. Levi is a player and GM who actually, one of the podcasts, he was the GM for that. I might even have another one somewhere in there pre-recorded. I should get that up there.
I think there's one that didn't get released, yeah.
Yeah, I should put that out. I'm also re-releasing all the Shadowrun stuff that we did, and I want to get back to Shadowrun. In fact, I'm honestly thinking of doing alternating weeks. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I don't know if he could do it during the week, but I paid a visit down to your area tonight to see Nelly.
Nelly. I remember Nelly.
Because he's been incommunicado. He hasn't had the setup so that he could do online. And another friend of ours, Alex, actually built him a gaming computer over the last few months. So I delivered it to him tonight.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I told him about Shadowrun and that we might be doing some games on Saturdays, so he said he'd be interested.
Well, he was awesome in the last one. He jumped right in, just rolled with it, and that was awesome. So if you haven't seen that, I think that was episode 16 or something, 16 or 17, one of those. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. All right.
The internet seems to be just doing some skipping and jumping, so we'll see what happens.
All right, well, we'll skip and jump with it. I just hope at some point I'll figure out how to leave your icon up so it doesn't keep messing our cameras. All right, and around we go, all the way down, dialing in by remote. Well, I guess we're all remote, but I think he's the most remote, technically.
The most remote.
You're the most ISO. And we've got Carl.
He's remote.
Alors, bonjour tout le monde. My name is Carl. I will be playing Valerie, who is a Araco Crush Shadow Monk.
Nice. And found her way to hell on a bounty mission, or thereabouts. Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay, so that brings us mostly up to speed, but I am going to just give a quick recap before we dive in. You find yourselves in hell. You are currently pursuing the missing memories of one Hollyphant ally, Lulu, the old man, who's always been very confused, and now you know why. Took a trip through hell, and now, in an attempt to unlock the old man's memories, you have delved deeply into the realm of dreams. You've basically made a deal with a night hag, and she is basically guiding you through your worst nightmares. Now, along the way, you're realizing it's not just memories, it's nightmares. So some of the details are twisted or just full on weird, and you're not really sure what to expect next. Every doorway brings you somewhere else along this dreamscape hallway. Don't linger in the corners too long, though, because there are things in the nightmare realm that are difficult to explain. Now, I'm giving this recap mostly for Jay, so I'm not sure if you heard that.
I think he probably did. He's got the wireless earbuds.
Yeah, right. So you are currently asleep, and I believe you've gone through Fenris's door and explored that. Fenris, I did want to give one quick little recap, one little piece of detail that was missed by the others, not by you as you clutch your hand. So we'll do that just as we get started in just a second. A remnant from your dream. We then went into Henrietta's past, but in a dreamscape past, where certain things that happened were a little different than you remember, and you ended up fighting and finding your way through the cataclysmic fall of El Terrell, and now you faced off against a demon egg, basically a demon that had flung itself up onto El Terrell like a meteorite, slammed down, cracked open, and all these other nasty things came crawling out. You fought through, and you found yourself almost irrationally, in the way that dreams are. You find yourself standing in front of the sinew-slick statue, say that 4 times fast, of Henrietta's grandfather. I think it was Lanik Pedersen, the person who where she had found the helm of this of Pelor's site. But this in the dreamscape is twisted. This is a morphed, merged version of the helm, which appears to have both divine and demonic influences, as you discovered when you wore it briefly. And it was a cursed item which connects you to the celestial planes of Pelor, and alternatively and alternatingly to the demonic abyssal realm and directly to Baphomet, an archdemon. So it is a twisted piece of magic item, which you now, I believe Fenris currently has it in the dreamscape. Who knows what that means in the real world? You've also, along the way, unlocked certain abilities as you work your way through. Basically added class features or background features, so be on the lookout for those. You find yourselves, I believe, if I remember correctly, I didn't rewatch it, so some of the details, forgive me. You found your way to, let's just say you find your way back at an archway leading out of Henrietta's dreams and back to that central hallway.
I don't super care. We can move on, but the way I remember it is that we found this like version of the helmet, which was not where it was in my memory.
Right.
And as Henrietta, my goal was to relive the actual memory of me putting on this helmet. So I was trying to find, like, recreate that version. So we like see this scene where there's this, sinew-soaked statue with the helmet that Fenris goes up to and sort of interacts with in a way that
There's to unplug my headphones. Sorry about that.
Sure,
Sinew-soaked statue.
Yeah, so Fenris goes up to that and interacts with it using sort of the, like, I guess, cerebral impression of the actual helmet that he holds in real life.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where we saw the whole like corrupted helmet thing. So like you said, in the Planescape, he has this version of it, and in real life he has the original version, and who knows what that means. And Henrietta sort of looks down at this exchange and says something along the lines of like, "That's all well and good. I'm here to see the memory, show it to the hag." So
sure. So you look over and the hag
and I try and like warp the scape again, as I did previously, where I try and like, oh, this is my memory, I'm going to control it, I'm going to move us to that point where I walked up to the statue and picked it up in the cathedral sanctuary. Something I don't remember specifically.
It was underneath the Grand Cemetery, and so you begin to will yourself forward, and as you do, this misty shape steps out of the shadows, and you see the hag. She's almost 9 feet tall with these extra long limbs, and her hair is dangling down the twisted bent form of Mad Maggie, the night hag, looking at you all, and she's, "Ah, yes, you seek the truth. Funny thing about dreams, sometimes they're more true, but fine." And she kind of waves her hand, and the whole background just shifts around you. You don't even take a step. It just goes, and you are now underneath the great cemetery, the Grand Cemetery, where you had fought your way down to seek your grandfather's helm. And finally you stand before it, and the statue, the face, everything looks fairly normal, except the face seems more almost piteous than you remember, as this stone statue of your grandfather looks at you. The helm.
Are there like bodies here? Like the people I came with, are they like all dead in this memory?
So as you're looking around, and actually all the other people, you had people with you, NPCs that, well, you knew you had brought with you on this journey, and all of them just thump one by one, just as it morphs in to this place. You see their deaths just for an instant, almost like an echo, and Tiny is the last to die. But you see him look up at you and be like, we certainly tried it. Drops. And it was actually the Nalfeshni that disemboweled him and then drops his body into the pool before hiding for the party. As you remember, they got ambushed by it, and you are staring up at this helm, and it's on the statue. This one looks exactly as you remember it, not twisted or corrupted in any way.
So I put my hand on the helmet and I say, Maggie, I remember what I promised you. Perhaps you've forgotten, but this isn't for me, remember. This memory's for you. So pay attention, I guess. And I'll pick it up and I'll put it on.
All right. Couple of things happen. At this instant, as soon as the helm goes on, the whole world goes dark.
Yeah.
Henrietta's blacked out. Everyone else, you gasp, and it's like an echo, a repeat. Ooh, we've got 2 J's now.
Oh boy, oh boy.
That's fun. For a second, there are 2 Archibalds, and then none, and then 1. Oh, Zoom games. No, we can't hear you, Jay. Sorry. I'm assuming he said something. Anyway, everyone is standing in the hallway and just being like, and you can see all of each other except Henrietta is just kneeling there, the helm like on her head, in the dreamscape, in the hallway, and it's weird because it actually looks like it's just her head she's got the helm on her head and she's kneeling down and her head is kind of lolling forward and she's just awake and locked into position, kneeling. Sorry, not awake, unconscious, but not moving, not aware. You take a second to look at her and you see these little streams of blood, just a little trickles, kind of seeping out from underneath the helm. It's a little different than when you saw her last. Last time you saw her with the helm on, it was stuck to her head and you had to cast to try and remove it. But now she's chosen to put it back on. And we'll see what comes of that.
Is that helm different than what I'm holding?
You look at it and it physically it resembles it almost identically, but there's a slight difference in the coloration. And a few of the iconography, like in one spot, it's like beautiful carved ivory kind of laurelette kind of etchings on the one that Henrietta wears. You look at yours and it's a very, very similar pattern, but like almost like the curves of like a ram's horn in a few places, just instead. Very subtle differences, but there are subtle differences. Two things happen now. First of all, Gordon, or rather Fenris, can you do a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Oh, okay. Let's just double check my saving. Okay. Ooh, not good. I'm going to use a luck point, because I haven't used one yet.
It is a new day. Or it was.
It isn't. Was.
Yeah.
Even worse. 9.
All right, so you're investigating this and you're kind of standing fairly, about 3 feet away from Henrietta, and you look at the inside and you get this flash in your mind's eye of this face, this terrifying, twisted, fetid, boil-ridden, like awful animal-esque and yet still oddly human face peering out of the helm right in your eyes, locks eyes with you. And you hear this voice in your head. Yes. And then it shocks you enough you drop the helm.
Okay.
And it falls about 4 inches and then just goes across the room as though it's yanked by a very strong pressure directly at Henrietta. It slams into her, but she doesn't move at all. It just goes, and realigns itself over her head, almost superimposed, and you see the two helms line up, and one half and the other, just the slightly discolored, the other half more vibrant in silver and brights and yellows, and it just the helm has now merged, and it is locked on Henrietta's head.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Valerie, Darmida, Archibald, you find yourself in this long hallway. You can see everything that is going on, and you just didn't get a chance to, like, it happened so fast. Just Fenris looked at the helmet, this locked onto Henrietta's head. The hallway is this dark, almost marble style, but almost like inverted marble, like black marble with veins of white. Above you is this nighttime sky, almost crystal clear, with these stars that almost shift and move. The stars are unfamiliar. The walls extend up about 15 feet, but it gets really hazy at the top, where they almost go translucent and merge with the sky. The floor, although hard, worked smooth stone, has this low-lying mist that just kind of rises up just slightly above ankle height. Not quite obscuring the floor, but just this mist. Every 30 or so feet along the hallway on both sides, you see an archway or a door. The first door with Henrietta, you remember seeing the prison. It's still the prison door. And you can see the two little gates that you left open. On the a little bit further down, let me get my map. A little bit further down on the right, you see Darmida. You recognize the door, a cabin door that your father once made, the closest place you ever recall to being a longer-term home. On the left, Fenris, that open archway that you remember going through. It's still there. You can revisit if you want to. And on the right of that, and just in time, welcome back, Archibald. There is a doorway.
If I preach that one more time, I'll stay out, because I know it's kind of like
it's okay.
up the story.
It doesn't bother me right now. I'm just on the main. I'm just not doing the individual cam thing. It's no sweat off my back. Archibald, the second door down on the right. You remember that door. Dark mahogany wood. You remember trying your hand at when people were out. You remember trying your hand at picking this lock. The best liquor was kept there. All kinds of papers and interesting business that your father got up to, proving that he was a fucking hypocrite. In public life, he was very respected. In private life, well, you knew things. Oh, and he's gone. I wonder if that's Jay's for the night. I hope not. I hope he comes back. We'll just hang out until he comes back. No, we're going to get going. Yeah, he actually dropped that time too. Boo, earns. Oh, internet, you giveth and you taketh away. I guess that's a bit, melodramatic. All right. Valerie, third door on the left, you recognize instantly. It's a long way down, but you've seen it. You came through it last time, but this time it is actually different. It was an entrance to that starscape that you fled some unknown massive creature. Now it is an entrance. You remember it. It's the silver and gold twisted spires of the Eyrie, the convocation, the grand hall of your peoples. There is more doors further down, but that's about as far as you guys can see right now. And with that, I'm going to just see if we can get Jay back. We're going to cut to intro, and we'll be right back. I'm Such a tease. All right. Seemed like a good time to cut to an intro, and I was hoping that we'd see Jay coming back in, but I think that might be it for the night. Well, we'll get him back in if we get the chance. Maybe we. Hey, I got an idea. Archibald approaches the door. Tries the handle. It's locked. While everyone else is distracted, pulling on Henrietta's helm, trying to wake her up, trying to help her, Archibald wanders down to this doorway. Stretches, takes out his picks, slips them out of one of his sleeves, kneels down, and with practiced ease, opens the lock, looks back at you, opens the door, steps through, and closes it behind him with a click. So the rest of you are currently in the hallway. What do you want to do while Henrietta is currently unresponsive?
So if I understand this correctly, like, Hen puts on the helmet and basically her memory ends and everyone gets shunted out, but she's still trapped in the helmet in this cave of dreams or whatever it's called.
Well, you're
the basic understanding.
The basic is.
Don't worry about what Henrietta's seeing, but everyone else, yeah.
No, that's what everyone else is seeing. We might get to some detail with you.
Just making sure.
But
no,
as you
that's
said,
fine. I just want to make sure I understand. Yeah.
You get. Well, we'll come back to that in just a sec. I just want to know what these guys are going to do with you.
Making sure I understood it. Yeah.
Okay. So I see what happens. I see Henrietta kneeling, unresponsive, and the helmet merged. I kind of look at the others and shrug a bit, and I see that how Archibald kind of took off to his doorway. I am going to, I guess I'm going to approach Henrietta, and I'm going to try to just decipher what's going on and see if I can remove the helmet without any harm, but do a bit of investigation on what's going on.
Sure, go ahead and roll investigation. For some reason, that's not showing. It's all good.
Well, Valerie's still utterly confused with what's going on, but so far has been going with the flow, but
not doing so well. 5, so like a.
No, it looks like it's merged to her head. It's not just stuck on. Like it's like the skin is now grafting to it. And you give it a little tug and her whole head kind of rocks to one side. I better turn down my fireplace for 1 second. Hold on, I don't want to start a fire.
Okay.
Alright, sorry about that.
No problem.
Smokey the Bear says.
Smokey the Bear.
All right, so you try to get it off to no avail. It is on her head. It is really stuck now. Meanwhile, Darmida, Valerie.
Yeah. She's completely just miffed that, like, she doesn't understand what the hell's going on in the first place and what we're doing. And then now two of her party have just, I don't know, where they really went. So she's gonna just be kind of like, we can't separate. Like, we can't do this.
Can I ask, like, what is Darmita's idea of, like, why we're doing what we're doing and what our goal is?
All she knows is she's trying to help Lulu.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that the hag wants something from Lulu, and she just wants to protect Lulu, and she hasn't seen him yet, and that is unnerving.
You did see him briefly when the hag came down at the end of Henrietta's dream.
Very briefly.
But then you were back in the hall now, and just in the distance... do a perception check for me, actually.
Yeah, she's not too sure where this is leading yet. Or if it's leading anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think of Darmita as someone who does something without, like...
It's only for Lulu.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not someone who doesn't do something, but, like, you know...
Without a reason.
Yeah, or, like, trust, like, this is going to help them, I guess I'll just do it, right? Like, yeah. So I sort of interpreted her as having a goal here, more direct than just hope the hag knows what she's doing.
Oh, I don't trust the hag at all.
Oh, yeah, totally, exactly, yeah.
Which
19.
is...
All right. So, Darmita, as you're looking around and watching them kind of work with Henrietta and try to figure things out, you hear in the distance an ever so quiet, like... It was like a kind of a muffled trumpet call.
Had I maybe heard that sound before, right before I was whisked away from Benku?
That's right. You remember that the Hollyphant sometimes does such a call. It's coming from the far end of the hallway, straight down the end.
Lulu's this way. Do we go? We should go. We need to go help him.
Hey, whatever it takes to get the fuck out of here, see. Because I am losing my fucking patience. I want to get my mark. I want to get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
All right.
You're not a willing party member. You're a thrown in.
One last thing. When I look at the helmet and to see how it's kind of snapped on, I just want to say, like, can I use my an Arcana check to see if it's like a lock?
Sure. You can do an Arcana check.
Because I wasn't really able to investigate anything, but just with something new that I've learned, like a 9. I'm going to reuse a luck point. Another one. Why not? I know.
Burning through them. All right.
Burning through. Do this. 15.
All right. That's enough to tell. You've seen enough. I mean, you saw this particular item not coming off of her head, and it required a special remove type ritual. It appears that it is bonded to her head yet again. This time in a slightly more vicious kind of way. It's actually like scrunching into the flesh and bonding with the flesh, causing a bit of a wound. Doesn't look like it's killing her. Her breath is somewhat labored at times, but not... I mean, you saw her last time. Her lips are just kind of muttering a little bit about... not doing quite the double speak voices thing this time, but every once in a while responding to unheard questions and just kind of grunts a little bit and like winces every now and again. Otherwise, she seems currently unharmed, and it is bonded to her. If you had to guess, Arcana-wise, it's probably a cursed item, and it's probably bonded to her head.
Would my roll indicate that it's like a lock, like a magical lock, or is it a curse?
This appears more like a curse.
Okay.
Yeah.
So something new that I learned really wouldn't help.
Unfortunately, it's not gonna... probably not. I mean, you're welcome to try if you want to.
But we knew that from before.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was different. Like before, it was like a curse. Maybe this was a lock, and I learned something.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, she.
There are plenty of doors you can unlock around here if you want. All the way down the hall.
that's yeah. I think I kind of give I gave Henrietta one last look. I can't remove curse. I don't think my newfound spell will help her. So I kind of look at Bella. I say, okay, let's go. We'll come back for her.
We can't. You're gonna leave your friend? Like, don't you know her? Like,
This is a dream right now. Physically,
okay,
we're actually not here.
right, but okay. Listen,
It's up to you. And I mean, Henrietta's big as well, so I don't know if you'd be able to carry her.
well, I was gonna see if she could be led. That was
sure. Go ahead and do a
hold her hand.
Full handling.
Okay, I thought she was unconscious.
Yes.
Like basically back in comatose.
Well, she's mostly, but I mean, she is holding herself upright as she's rocking back and forth.
That she was upright.
Kneeling, but she's not
I thought
slumping
she was, like,
over.
kneeling and like
She's
like,
kneeling,
basically,
but well, Darmito, why don't you come over and do an animal handling check? I accept that because there's never enough use for that in game.
There really isn't. It should have a more broad name.
Handling? Okay. Let's. Well, I'm okay.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm. Sure. I'm gonna handle.
And handle her animal. Yep.
That's appropriate.
Yep,
What was it? Sorry, I wasn't watching that screen. Oh,
a 3.
a 3. Yeah. So, not
You can't use animal handling on people. Dang
Yeah,
it.
sorry. Doesn't look very promising. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to come in on Saturday.
Those TPS reports.
Yeah. Actually, with that, Henrietta bites you. No, I'm just kidding. But how awesome would that be? All right.
But I will say to Fenris and Valerie, who are the only two left at this point, I hear him.
You can, and when she points it out, you can all just barely make it out.
Yeah, we're here for him. He's the reason we're here. I want to find him.
Well, Valuri's gonna follow you because she has the shared interest of a mutual target. So you're probably you're probably the only person that she'll follow at this point. That makes any sense.
No. Little Valerie, no.
All right.
Hey, I'm just saying.
At this point, we're just going to put a pause as the party stands up and takes a few steps away from Henrietta. Henrietta, your mind is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's a roiling pitch blackness of pain and fear and things clawing at the edge of your perception.
Right, as I remember it. Which,
and then
not that makes it any better.
No, except there now is a little voice every once in a while next to you. Yes. Unpleasant. Smells familiar. Yes. Well. I suppose. Now. Show me what you've got. The hag then helps move you away from that, as there's almost like this searchlight of pure blinding white brilliance kind of tears through the darkness, and it illuminates these writhing demonic figures, and they pull back out of the light as fast as they can or burst into smoldering ash. As some of the beams, and you remember this as well, when the Pelor connection would come beaming through and just shatter the darkness. And at one point, the hag hisses and ducks out of the way of it, and you're illuminated for a second, and everything just falls away, and you get this sense of peace and a gentle warmth. And then the light carries on and leaves you just falling back to your knees again, just wanting it to come back as it's gone off. And then the hag returns to your side. You can just sense her in the darkness, although you can barely see anything. Like you can barely see your own hand.
I'm feeling just like white hot pain constantly during this entire.
Yeah. The only moment it wasn't in pain was in the brilliant white light. But even then, your head started to just ache on one side. You then end up going with the hag for a little while. As she sifts through kind of bits on the ground and picks up a skull off the ground and says, "Oh, one of yours? You know them?" And then drops it in your lap, and you look down, and it's this little girl's face looking up at you. You're like, "Ah!" You drop it on the ground. After a little while, you do remember. You remember going back. What you saw in the helm, the hellscape, a briefest flash of the fall of the Eye of Pelor. You get it. You see little bits and pieces here and there, and you're trying desperately to hold on to them, but it just keeps slipping out of view like that, like beam, and it's just ever so these swirling moments, and for a second you see your target. You see what you remember of the bleeding cathedral stretching up into the hellscape.
At this moment, I try to push through the pain and exert control. Because again, I'm like treating this like all the other memories we've gone through, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's my memory, I have some form of control, and I try and slow it down as slow as I can so that we can go through like I just try to stretch out this memory so that it lasts as long as possible for the head to drink it in.
Roll a wisdom saving throw, actually.
Saving throw? Okay. Mm-hmm.
15. For a brief second, it almost slips away like all the rest. And then you take a deep breath. And you focus. And you hum a note.
Right.
And it carries beyond the darkness something to hold on to. And then you're standing on a hellscape plain before a newly formed mountain. You can see it stretching up almost as these almost like pieces of rock kind of, it's almost like it's in reverse, because there's this spire of brilliant white light, and then around it the hellscape almost reaching up like these inverse, like almost like a reverse avalanche as they snap into place to try desperately to cover it up and not let this divine energy touch more than it has to of this hellish plane. You stand before the bleeding cathedral, the spot where the sword of the Eye of Pelor was driven into the dirt by some acolyte or some one-time ally of the Eye of Pelor. And you take a deep breath and you look around, and the hag is about 10 feet behind you. She smiles. "Is this what you were looking for?"
Has like the pain resided? Like, am I coherent?
You're coherent. You still have a heck of a headache.
Okay.
But nothing is shifting yet.
Right.
And when it starts to slip and blur and bleed away from you, you hum that note again, and just even your shield starts to resonate at that particular frequency.
Yeah. Wait for it. It'll be coming. Just a little longer. And I'm trying to find that moment where we watched the fall, or did that already happen? I'm not just super sure about the timeline here.
Interestingly enough, we're going to pause you for a second.
Beautiful,
All right, the others now 30.
We go to combat. You're already in a fight.
The others are all dead. No, so the others are, as I'm flipping through, walking down the hall. The three of them, the three remaining last standing group as they head down the hall towards the door at the end. It is this. It looks like a regular wall at first, and then you see this little dark spot in the center, almost like a little hole. And as you approach, it's actually much further than you thought, and it just gets bigger and bigger until you're standing 10 or 15 feet away from. It looks like something punched through the end of this, and there's just broken brick and a black gap on the other side. And out of it, intermittently, you hear these little trumpets or the occasional murmur. As you get closer, you can make out the old man's voice. No, but you... Fenris, Darmida, Valerie, you stand at the entrance of some dream gate. It doesn't seem familiar to any of you. What do you want to do?
I got through it.
Follow.
Let's do it.
Darmida dives through. The rest of you take a deep breath and plunge after her.
While I do, I'm going to just actually use my Pearl of Power to replenish one of my slots.
Sure, absolutely.
And I'm gonna go invisible because I am not feeling.
Yeah, all the damage carries over from the previous ones. All right. You black out for a moment. And although...
I mean, light or dark it is will depend whether I'm visible.
That's true. And you black out for a moment and appear somewhere else. And with that, we're going to take a little break. Seemed like a good moment. It's a little early, I suppose. The party wants to keep going. All right, let me just replenish my water, and we'll just be 2 minutes. 2 minutes, folks. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Hey, Internet, don't forget, you can always chime in with suggestions and ways that I can mess with the party. It's a dreamscape, so pretty much anything goes. All right, I'll be back in just about 2 minutes.
I was going to say... Oh, I'm still using the funny voice, aren't I?
I was going to ask, are you potentially doing that?
No, it's hotkeyed on here. There we go.
All right, we're going to get started
I'm new
now.
to this, but this is...
All right, so Henrietta, you have a new item. You have the Helm of Demons.
I'll find out when I wake up, right? Like,
Yeah, but you can write it down if you want to, because it's bonded to your skull, so you can't take it off. You have the Helm of Demons and Angels. Now, note I did it in that order, so as to avoid copyright infringement.
Sure. I don't think that matters, but, whatever.
It's true. Our one viewer is going to report
But,
us.
again, I've mentioned this before, right? We're in a dream. Until I wake up and actually see it on my head,
Well, it's your item now.
Hold off on that stuff.
All right, and we'll see what turns up of Archie eventually. We'll see. Oh, I did want to mention, and so we'll do this as a kind of a flash over to. Ready? And 3, 2, 1. So, as you step into the darkness, all my maps are all messed up. Fenris is now okay. Give me a sec. I'm gonna remap these while I talk. It's all good. It's all good. You're not Bella. All right. That's not Bella either. There she is. All right. I just gotta fix these. So Gordon, Fenris. As Fenris, that's not Fenris. It's all messed up. It's all good. We'll get it fixed. I promise. Nope. Yay! Good enough. So, Fenris, as you step through into the Holophants area, and actually just as Darmida goes and then Valerie follows along, you pause for a second and take out your Pearl of Power and take a deep breath, and you squeeze it, and you can feel the energy seep into your body, replenishing those lost spell slots. In your other hand, you find the tiniest little scrap. It was a little piece of blanket. You picked it up almost instinctively, almost as an afterthought, kneeling in the snow-covered back lane that your family once sheltered in. It was almost... you almost missed it at the base of one of these little trees. As you came face to face with yourself, you fell over, and everyone else kind of scrambled around wondering, and for a second you could see it underneath, and you just reached out and grabbed it. You always wondered what had become of that blankie. But you remember being startled. You don't remember why or the details, but you remember being startled in that back lane, your parents saying, "Don't ever get caught." You were playing back there and something startled you and you ran inside, and you know that you don't remember if it was then or after or before, but you lost your blanket. Just a little, almost like just a little scrap of cloth. You would kind of pick at the edges. You like the way the silky edge kind of felt against your fingers. You missed that blankie. And when you lay there, almost comatose for those few seconds, you could see it. And as you kind of came to, you reached out and grasped it. And as you slipped away, just a little piece, an edge of it, probably not much bigger than the palm of your hand, tore loose in your grasp. You look at it now, and it is your blankie. You can see the edges where you'd frayed and pulled out from the side. But there's also something else there. Writing. Scribbling. You remember your father used to always carry parchment, because if you started murmuring, and what you would later learn was whisperings and the beginnings of your gift, he would insist you scribble them down wherever you could. You don't specifically remember writing this, but you wrote a lot. And etched on the blanket is the beginnings of something that you wrote. This is kind of the first moment you've had to pause and take a look at it. You can make out certain words in the arcane shorthand that your family and your uncles and your various uncles of your cult had taught you. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me. This is a retcon. All right, sorry.
22.
Oh, damn. No luck needed there. Esa. Desareto. And there's a few other words from a different line, but part of a longer line. The whole thing only being about 3 or 4 sentences, but about half of it is missing. The other part that you can see now that you didn't have before says prima. And then it's M-A. And then it's torn. This is the beginnings of some kind of spell. In written form, though. So that would... This is a partial spell written down. If you get the other part, it might act as a spell scroll.
Okay. Pocket it, go through.
All right, you're following the rest of the group. You step out into a hellish landscape where you see a barren hellscape battlefield stretched out before you. You take it in and you see two things happen at this moment. Henrietta, as you're standing there with the hag, she smiles and motions behind you. You turn and you see the same thing as everyone else, but from a slightly different perspective. As they step just out of nothing into existence. Boom, boom, boom. 3 of your companions stepping out, probably a good 30 feet away from you.
So, I have not been interpreting this as a sort of physical, I mean not physical, but like a place where Hen even is, right? Hen is seeing a vision as far as she's concerned. Maybe she looks down and sees herself for the first time. But if not,
You are standing...
surprised to see the others show up because...
Absolutely.
It's not the way she remembered it.
It is not. It is... This is the
under
kind
the
of dreams that you can interact
everyone
with.
is having the exact experience that she is having, because that is how the memories have sort of been. And that they are also seeing the rest of them.
You look at each other across this gap, and then the landscape shifts and buckles, and you all kind of catch your footing for a second, and you look back, and that spire is there still. It's still probably a good quarter mile away, but around you, you see all these shapes begin clawing their way up over the rocks that surround you. A flame-encircled battlefield on a barren hellscape. Next to the hag, you look back to the hag to figure out what the heck is going on, and she's holding Lulu's hand, the old man form, just standing there taking it all in, his kind of worn reddish robes, holding her hand.
Where has he been actually?
You looked and it was just the hag. He looks again and boom, gone. Appeared. The hag apparently knows where he has been.
No, I mean, I'm watching a memory, right? Like, this is the memory this was the vision that was shown to me when I put on this helmet, and in that memory, Lulando Tustando Sena Nasuma was there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that the memory version of him, where is he here? Is he somewhere?
You don't see the memory version of Lulu,
okay, cool.
just standing next to the hag and to the rest of your party. They're actually kind of between you and the party.
Show up, and that different version feels like it is the actual one and not the memory version.
And this,
I can make that distinction?
Yeah, the memories kind of have this almost fast forward feel to them at different points. I
don't know if I can make that distinction because I told the hag not to bring him here. I told her that, right? Okay, I just want to make sure I'm having that distinction and I'm not...
The hag smiles up at you and says, I promised. He'll be safe.
I'm not going to make him see anything he doesn't want to. All right?
I'll not make him see anything he hasn't seen.
That wasn't the deal. Can I close distance with her? How far away is she?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can. You're about 15 feet away from the hag.
Cool. Yeah, I just get up in her face. I'm not doing
okay, you rush up and
get up there and I'm just
you're really staring up at her face and she's looking down, looming down over you, and she just smiles.
I'm exceptionally tall.
No, and she's 9 feet, and Lulu steps forward, sensing something. Is Henrietta. Yes, I know you. You're Henry. Oh, hello. And takes in the others, and the rest of you are all there now. And the hag is just standing there calmly, looking at Henrietta being right up in the face. And Lulu kind of looks back and forth and sees Darmida and waves. Oh, Amita. Oh. You won't like it here. I'm so sorry. At which point the hag turns to Henrietta and says, well, a deal is a deal. And she waves at...
I'm gonna walk up to Lulu.
Okay.
Hold his hand. Can I get to him?
You start getting up to Lulu, and the hag says, a deal is a deal is a deal. At Henrietta, and she waves her hand, and Lulu's just... You see just bits of dust and ash blowing away on the breeze where Lulu was. Lulu will be perfectly fine. This, as you say, is for me. And now you. And she casts this look back at Darmida as you approach.
And I just look at her and go, I've always wondered what happened to her. Let's do it, bitch.
At this moment, the landscape shifts again ever so slightly, just a little, like a flicker, and you see more shapes moving in the peripheral. It is now a battlefield. At the center, not 5 feet away from you, is Lulu and an angel lying crumpled, unconscious, prone, horribly injured. Henrietta, you can tell this is, and you can all tell this is not the same old man. This is definitely memory Lulu.
Sure.
And an angel next to him. You see yourselves now standing in defense of Lulu and the angel. You turn as something catches your attention. On the outside is first 6, and then from another flank 12, 18, then 24. Several different varieties of devils come crawling up, walking up, flying up, circling around. You are surrounded, and they begin to creep closer.
Maggie,
in
what
the
do you want to
distance,
see here?
you turn your head to see.
You're not content just watching things play out how they did. So tell us what you want.
Well, cast your eyes there. And she points, and a little bit in the distance, about 100 feet away, a little ways up the mountain, you see a formation of battered and retreating human warriors, a few celestial types among them, disappearing into this portal, this vibrant gate that's there. It is a way gate. And then the portal snaps closed. So this is what it was like when they left you. Maggie says down, staring at the angel crumpled below, next to Lulu. Maggie then looks at you all and says, and she begins to go translucent as she says it. Well, we'll see you in the next dream. You may want to not let them take you.
Okay.
Maggie has gone, disappeared from in front of you, and the devils are closing in on all sides. What do you want to do?
I'll see the initiative for now. I know what I want to do, but I'll...
I'm gonna walk toward the angel and the memory of Lulu.
Okay.
Trying to fix on the face of the crumpled.
The crumpled angel, you recognize the old man, no problem. Although, even beaten, even horribly injured and unconscious, still looks more robust than the old man you know. It still looks less old, less worn, more shiny, like even in the battered, broken state. But then you at the crumpled form next to it.
Does
the
it have
angel.
Wings?
Both wings. Oh, sorry, Lulu? Yes, Lulu does have his wings lying there. Next to him, the angel, crumpled, the back somewhat turned. You bend down and nudge a shoulder, and it rolls back, and you see this somewhat androgynous face, bald head, eyes just clutched closed, but twitching clutched as though desperately trying to keep out what is coming. Roll a perception check for me.
All of us, or
just Darmida? Everyone else is starting to see these devils approach and like...
Here we go again.
Alright, 14. For 14, you can see these, and one of the eyes just ever so slightly creaks open as though to take a peek at the surroundings. And as the lid pops out, you see a brilliant beam of light. This is a creature, a celestial being, a planetar, fallen in front of you, beaten, crumpled, and abandoned. And locks eyes with you. And you hear a voice just murmur just as it's losing consciousness. Hold them off. Nishida. Roll initiative.
The crumpled that toward me?
Looked at you and called you Nishida.
Yeah, I'm gonna really find out what happened to her, aren't I?
I mean, it's like you're filling her shoes here, so maybe you don't get to find out anything. That'd be a shame. All right, while you're rolling initiative, I suppose I'll make me a new map. Just in case you feel like doing that. Archie's not here. Boom.
Yeah, it's only the... Well, you're here, though. So
just the four of us.
I was about to roll for Archie as well, and then I realized I don't have to.
Just the four of us. All right. I'm going to work on my amazing art skills.
Is there a map for this one, really?
Oh, I suppose I could look for that. There might be.
Probably is.
We
made it back to the book, everybody.
Let's see. We're back in the book. Actually, believe it or not, there isn't, but I did pull some up. I subscribe to a bunch of Patreon people, and if I can remember who they are, I will announce it. But thanks very much to all the Patreons, people that we use maps from. I'm just going to place all of y'all. I have to reveal some of this map, so 1 second. Ooh, perfect. It does exist. There you go.
It's a bat birdie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there are slaughtered fallen humanoids and devils and even a few demons, all surrounded and awful. And in the middle, go ahead and place yourselves smack in the middle of that mess.
Okay.
Where's Lulu and the fallen angel? Because I would be close to them.
You are, yeah.
Based on them.
Just gonna get that. I'm just gonna. It isn't this, but I'm just gonna use this. Actually, do I have that? Hold on. Might have the old man somewhere. And let's just use... what am I going to use for the fallen? Just going to drag this raven. It's got wings. For now.
Perfect.
That'll do. They're crumpled almost side by side. Darmida, you are very close to them. And everybody else is a little bit away. Wherever you choose to position yourselves. Let's dive in. Let's read off the initiative, please. And I finally put this up on the screen. So if you're watching, feel free to chime in. All right. What do you want to... All right, you are surrounded by just legion of demons around you at the moment. Definitely going to be a fight on your hands. So, lots and lots and lots of spined demons. Or devils, I should say. Not demons, sorry. Most of them are spined devils as they come swooping over this fiery field. What am I doing here?
To walk up and look at the fallen angel because I didn't get a really good look in my actual memory. I don't think so. Taking this opportunity, so sort of was like a few steps behind.
Absolutely,
behind,
it's not every day you see a beaten and fallen planetar.
Yeah, who is like a emissary of my god incarnate. Or something, probably. I don't know. Angels, what are they? Who knows?
So you say them were shadow demons?
These are actually spined devils. There's a couple of bone devils kind of coming through the gaps as well. A couple of imps, just for good measure.
Lori's definitely going to write a book about this when she gets back to her monastery.
Nice.
My Time in Hell by Faluri.
Yes.
The cuisine was not fantastic.
There are no shadows in hell.
Alright. That's about enough. Oh, and one of these beasties. Hold on one sec. As a DM, don't you just love putting down the enemies and being like, hey, let's see what you do with this. All right, no, I don't want to kill you all. Probably not, anyway. I don't see what I'm looking for, so lucky you. I'll stop there. All right, you are surrounded.
Nice.
What was the order everybody got?
Everyone and then me last. I don't know what the order was.
I got 16.
All right, Valerie, 16. That's low for you. All right, what do you get, Gordon? Fenris? Is Fenris with us? Oh, there
I
is.
got a 21.
Woo, nice. Darmida.
22.
Nice. With the 22. And then Henrietta?
14.
14. All right.
So that's an actual ring of fire around this, right?
Yeah.
All right.
There are gaps.
Nice.
There are some gaps, but it is casting light, which could make your life a little more difficult.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, so you count at a glance at least a dozen spined devils, and at the very least you see currently 4 bone devils kind of stepping through the little gaps in the firewall ring wall around you. All right, at the top of the order, Jamida. And I think this calls for some action music.
So first I'm gonna look at Lulu and basically say, get up, fight. And then I'm going to Hunter's Mark, which should still be... We're in a dreamscape, so I'm gonna guess it's still active.
You
tell me.
Roll a d20.
A concentration check.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time hearing anyone right now.
Oh,
unless I get hit, it's active for 8 hours.
Yeah, just do a quick concentration check.
A con check?
Yeah.
Okay, just a straight up con check.
Sure. If you're a warcaster, you have advantage.
I am not. It's not a con save, just a check. Okay.
Unfortunately, it is down at the moment. I guess it was just a little too distracting with all the shifting and the bobbing and the shifting landscape. Being called your mother's name.
You have a save?
Oh,
It's
is it a con save? So yeah, you would get your bonus
save.
then. No, the actual save.
That's going to be a little bit different.
Okay.
That should be a 12 if you have the proficiency.
If it's over 10, you still have it.
Well, my con save is a +8 to begin with.
Oh.
Plus 5, so 15.
All right, that is still up then. Your hunter's mark is still up.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that the last thing you put it on has died since, although I don't know that that's actually the case.
Oh, what did I put it on?
Don't worry about it.
Everything died, right?
Yeah.
Because we won that fight.
Well, actually, one of the things did run for it, but you know what? It's up. It's ready to go. What do you want to mark?
We hand waved the last few turns of it, so it's impossible to know.
I will mark.
Send your bone devil there?
Yeah.
All right. The flames, you can pick it out real easy in the dark, in the dim roiling light, and then the firelight bouncing off of this bone white, spined, weird. Not that it's a spine devil, but it's got these weird protrusions of bone as it coming out of the darkness and crawling up the way. Whoa, that is a crit.
Out of the gate.
Nice.
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna do that, and then got my D6, so that's 15.
Whew, nice. 15 damage right out of the gate.
And then another run at the horse. That's another...
Yeah, that hits with a 28.
Ooh. 14.
14 damage? Nice. That's 29 so far. It is the first round, so you do get your special.
And... take him out. That's another 11.
Ooh, 27 hits. 11 more. Ooh.
11, 14, and then don't forget...
Oh, just got the 1 on the D8. That's sad. But that's an extra 4, so, what was that, 44 points of damage or something? Oh, that's a pretty good first turn. It takes these arrow shots, and thankfully your bow is magical, so you see them piercing it and hitting it, just like hissing at you as it crawls forward, his tail lashing back and forth. It took some damage. It's still looking pretty robust, though. All right, up next. Do you have any move, or you moved a little closer to kind of stand over Lulu, and you used your bonus. Anything else, or is that it?
That's it.
All right, coming up next, we got Fenris. You're just watching as these spine devils like swooping over the fire, almost in little clumps and herds, swarms, as you will, as well as those bone devils. What do you want to do?
I'm going to move closer to the others. probably kind of flank with the old man and Darmida. So I see Darmida taking some shots at one of the bone devils, and I see them as a greater threat than the little spine devils.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I'm going to. I see the one that she's picking on, and I am going to. Let's see how many sorcerer points do I have left. Okay, I'm going to quick cast. Sorry, just quickly. Is there anything around me besides this fire ring? Is there anything useful?
There's definitely rock and fallen bodies. There's bits of armor and swords and weapons. Some of them broken, some of them still good. All those, the red, some of them are... There's actually a fallen horned devil right about here. And definitely the angel and Lulu and the others put up a heck of a fight. But there's some broken... Like, this is kind of a... over on this side, towards where that bone devil is, you can see this old gnarled tree. It's almost petrified. It's so old. You see to the north side, you can kind of see where some rocks are kind of making a little gap within that firewall where there doesn't actually appear to be a bone devil. And directly north of where you are, you see another little gap. Where there doesn't appear to be a bone devil currently.
Great. Well,
to the south is the it gets more and more hilly. More and more level, and then to the north it gets more rising up towards that tower that you look back and it's actually gone. There's nothing there. It is a rise. But that large scar, the bleeding cathedral, isn't there now. And it's kind of weird. There. It was in that direction. Nothing else has changed, except it's not there yet.
How far away was that?
About a half mile. Due north.
Okay. All right. I am going to quicken spell cast Enervation on the Bone Devil that...
What's with you and enervating bone devils? I feel like that's a theme for you. You did that the moment you walked into hell. You're like, give me some of that.
Give me some of that. Yum, 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 yum.
All right, go ahead. It says, what kind of save?
So
or do you have to hit
it? Yeah, it is a. I believe it's a deck save. So
all right, it is. I believe magic resistant. It is, so it will have advantage on this.
Damn.
And what deck save?
It's a deck save. DC. Oh. That's definitely going to save.
Yeah, so that's it. The first one was only a 16. The second one was a 21. Sorry, bro. Innervation, as it sees and it ducks, and your innervation hits the tree instead, that petrified tree, as it kind of scooches back out of the way of it, and your arcane tendril slams it in instead. You get the sense that this tree has been dead for ages, and there's no life in it to siphon.
Yeah, it still takes actually 2d8 damage.
Oh, okay. It just arced off of it a little bit. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and make your roll.
So it takes 11 damage.
Nice. Every little bit, man.
Every little bit. And then with...
It doesn't latch in and stay there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you get a little piece as it jabs it and it's like... and it kind of retreats behind the tree and interrupts the arc.
And with my bonus action, I'll do a ranged spell attack, Chill Touch on it.
Nice. All right, and that's an attack roll, so go ahead.
Yeah. 16. Misses, probably.
Unfortunately, it does. It misses.
Okay.
It's ducked behind that tree, and it just can't seem to get a bead on it. All right, that's your turn. Coming up next, we've got Valerie.
And
Valerie.
this is gonna suck. All right.
There's lots of airborne targets.
All right, so the devils are in front of me. They're flying. They're not in the fire or anything.
They're actually above it.
I'm gonna go for those.
All right.
So I'll fly to this one here.
Sorry, which one? Oh, up there. Cool. So you just leap into the sky. Your wings just flying straight at this thing. You get up next to it. Not a problem. What do you want to do to it?
All right, I want to do an unarmed strike.
Do what you do best. Go for it. Make your rolls.
Okay, while that's happening, for the sake of everyone being
The first
aware of the
attack?
situation, what is the lighting situation? Because that's relevant to our party.
It is normally it would be considered pretty dark. Just shy of dim light, like into the darkness realm. However, because of all the fire, something has summoned this fire. It's actually a ring of fire, like firewall.
Yeah, I would imagine that it would be bright light personally, like as a unbiased take, because of a campfire can make bright light, right? Like this is going to be more than that, right?
And this is quite a bit. Like any of the little bits of trees that were here are quickly catching on fire. And also the magic of the walls themselves are being sustained by something. So yeah, they were hemming in Lulu and the Eye of Pelor.
All right. So my first attack didn't go too well. So let's go the second attack.
Their AC ain't great. Oh, a 9 didn't help you. Sorry.
Yeah.
It screeches and it's got this long, like 3-pronged pitchfork, and it kind of bats you to one side a little bit as its leathery wings and its long spiked tail.
Right, so next one is a 17.
17 hits.
All right, let's go damage. 7.
All right.
And I'll take my bonus action for another unarmed strike.
These are fairly small creatures. Like they're not,
Yep.
they're medium sized and they don't seem to be as beefy. Those bone devils are beefy.
Right, another unarmed strike. You gotta be kidding me. All right, man, you know.
It hisses at you and retreats into the wall of fire and back from it. It does not appear to be affected by the fire. In fact, it's hissing and laughing at you as it does so out of your reach, unless you want to get burnt. If you choose to go in the fire, I'll let you to have advantage.
No.
Okay. just wondering.
As tempting as it may be.
All right, just curious, bro. It's all good. I'm just helping you.
Auto hit or bust.
All right.
I don't have any more attacks anyways.
Anything else you want to do?
I'm out.
All right. That's bringing us down to Henrietta. Yeah, they rolled real low.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Henrietta walks forwards towards this fallen Deva. Angel? What are they? They're Deva? No, they're
Planetar.
Planetar, thank you. Are Planetars like huge or something? I don't know how big Planetars are, but I think they're pretty big.
Yeah.
I guess actually that's still fulfilling. It was like large. I don't know if they're huge or large.
There you go. I made it bigger.
I don't know if that's accurate either. I mean, it's crumpled. It's probably not taking its full
It's crumpled up. It's all curled
Yeah.
up. It's going to be bigger than that. But
So, just before I do anything, what is it Hen's like understanding of stuff? Because like we as a party have sort of this idea that like there's this Planetar who's the Eye of Pelor, and they like did something. I don't think we have the specifics, and that me as a player, I believe this is them, but I could be completely forgetting or making this up.
can you do a religion check for me?
I can super do a religion check. I say very confidently, hoping that I roll well. 17.
There's something about this Planetar. You're all pretty aware that
Because I go up to them, right? And
Yeah.
regardless
the head
of
is big.
religion check, my understanding is that this is, I mean,
This is the moment the Eye of Pelor was abandoned. And and actually...
The reason we wanted to see this is because the Hag wants to see an angel fall, right? Not just, like, die, but, like, fall and be corrupted, is my understanding.
Absolutely. You can tell that the Planetar is a little bit awake, and you can tell that this is the angel that later becomes the Eye of Pelor. But there's lots of blood on its face. It's you get a look at it, but it just has something damn familiar. So damn familiar about this face. You swear to God you've seen this face somewhere, but you can't place it.
Yeah.
The DC was 18, by the way. Sorry, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not even changing that after the fact. I was like 18.
You gave me the stuff that I wanted, right? You told me the things that I thought that I knew. Like, you're not telling me I don't know stuff that I just said, right?
No, you know everything you said. Cool. And there's something just picking away at your brain.
The Eye of Pelor before.
This is the Eye of Pelor.
During their fall, right? So I go up to them, and I don't know if I crouch down or not. Like, I get next to their face, right? Whatever that entails in this moment.
It's like knee height.
And
but
I'm going to assume this is going to be a multi-round action, so I'm just going to start by, like, sort of... It effectively is like a consoling thing, like you do to, like a child or something, or, like, somebody. And so it's just like this, like, soft, it's almost like a lullaby that I just, like, start to sing to this like dying sort of angel. And I'll probably have put, like, my hand on their face.
Syntax
very, like,
singularity said, "Shout out to the sidewalk for keeping me off the streets."
Hey, Syntax, it's been a while. How you been? Shout out to the sidewalk. All right, we can do a shout out. We can, absolutely. Yeah, all right. Although sidewalks aren't that far from the street, so yeah. You okay, bro?
That's the joke. Yeah.
Seriously, though, in this time and age, you never know. So, like, reach out if you need a hand, man. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Glad you could join us. We are in hell, as you can see, and Henrietta is serenading a pallet.
I'm going to start
Planetar.
by doing this. It's sort of the same way you might, like, approach, like, a wounded animal, right? Where you're, like, trying to get them to accept your presence before you do anything. So I'm just going to spend my turn doing that, I think. Where I'm, like, start
can you do a performance check for me?
Okay. That sounds great. Performance. 13.
Okay. It's a little hard to, get it all right when there's all this hissing and crackling and hellscape going on around you, but you definitely attempt. I appreciate that.
So I know what I'm going to be doing, but I think it'll take time. So because this is like a slow approach and a crouch, and like in combat, you're like running around and doing stuff, and I'm not.
It's almost like you're moving in slow motion.
Yeah.
While everything else is all just the ash is falling in slow motion past you like snow, and you just bend down. And you kind of cup the cheek. So
it starts with the lullaby, and it's going to turn into this
pull
sort of,
the
like,
head,
speaking to them and asking them stuff, but, like, that hasn't happened yet.
Sure, absolutely.
Cool.
It's begun.
Love it.
It has begun.
Thank you.
All right. Meanwhile, coming up next, the Spine Devils. Yeah, this is going to be rough. All right, let's see. Spine Devils.
Come at me, bro. Come at me.
All right, they swarm Fallery. Just all of these ones. Actually, those 4. These 2 come down and just strafe from the west side, from the east side there. They just come in and start strafing and flinging their spines at the crumpled form of the Planetar, as spines just hitting its back, just digging into. Some of them glancing off, like the hide of this creature is so magically tough, and it is actually wearing armor. It came fit for war, to make war upon hell, and these spines, some of them glance off, some of them dig in, leaving wounds. As these spine devils start swarming around. Some of them also fling spines at the following people. So Henrietta, you get 2 flung at you. Fenris, you're going to catch 1, and Darmita's going to catch 1 as they go flying towards you and whipping their tails as these spines come at you. So let's resolve that. Henrietta, 2 of them coming your way. The first one hits, doing un momento. I have to look that up. Not much. Only 4.
Sorry, what was the hit chance?
Well, one of them was I rolled a 2, and the other one I rolled a 19. So that's going to be
the actual modified.
That's going to be 23 to hit.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay. So one of the spines makes it through. You take 4 piercing and 3 fire. All right, and then Fenris, you only end up with 1 on you, and it probably missed with an 11. As the spine just digs into the ground right next to your foot. Darmida was a 14, probably a miss as well, as you kind of duck under it and as your bow is ready. And then the others, 4 of them are on on Valerie, and they come swinging with their just trying to stab you. All right, so does 17 hit your AC, Carl?
Nope.
What about a 19?
Yep.
Okay, so you take 4 piercing and 3 fire damage from one of the spines of the devil. And then the last one is the second last one was a 6. As you duck out of the way of that attack, as the pitchfork goes stabbing at your head, and you easily duck that. And then the last one came up from behind and got you pretty damn good, as it does a 22 hit you? It's a crit, so
yes.
Yeah, so that's going to give you only 6 piercing damage as it jabs you in the back.
Oh, lovely.
Sorry, I didn't realize they get to attack. So 1 sec. Okay, the next one is a nat 1, so one of them actually hits his friend. The other one is 17, misses you. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. What about an 18? Oh, sorry, a 20. 20, just 20 even. Dirty 20.
Yep, that hits.
Okay, and you're going to take 3 more piercing damage from that, and 17 again misses you. So you only took those hits. All right. Henrietta, I forgot because they get 2 attacks each, so you're going to get 2 more at you. 19?
19 total?
19 total.
Okay, that misses.
Nice. It glances off your shield, and the other one is lower, so it just hits the dirt next to you as you're bending down. I don't know. Technically, they are aiming at the planetar. Do you want to try and do anything about that with a reaction, or no?
I think I only get to impose like once, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like 1 attack out of the whole volley. It's not like I can apply a shield buff for the whole thing.
No,
but sure, I'll apply a I like whatever one is attacking from the side. That would be like my shield arm, right? Like sure, it'll hit my shield.
Sure. So this one over here,
advantage for 1 attack.
Yeah.
Right? So it's whatever, but yeah, sure.
And it seemed to make the difference at 17 as the one barb just comes at it. You block one, and then you lower your shield and slap that one out of the ground with the edge of your shield out of the air as it's going at the planetar. You are standing guard over this fallen planetar. All right, coming up next, the Bone Devils begin to close ranks. This one, what is that? That's 60. What's their speed? Okay. Actually, it only gets... One of the Bone Devils comes running up and doesn't get to attack this round, but leaps up on top of the fallen planetar. The body just kind of shaking a little bit. The planetar is obviously bigger than this large creature as it leaps on top and just rises up to attack it. But doesn't get an attack this round because it's used its move. 10, 20, 30, 40... This one's going to close ranks to Henrietta, and again, used its action to get there. This one, 10, 20, 30, 40, comes barreling down, staring at Darmida. And... how far is it from you? 5, 10. You are just within reach of its stinger as it whips its tail around and tries to smash you with it. It only gets one of its attacks, the sting. And it only does an 18 hit your AC, Darmida.
No.
No? Okay, so you manage to sidestep as the stinger jams into the ground right next to your foot. It definitely, you can tell, just oozing around it, this kind of greenish and blackish ichor dripping off the tail. It is a poison tail attack, just so you're aware. All right, and I believe there's one more Bone Devil. Comes 5, 10, 10, 20, 30, and gets just within range of Darmida as well. This is the one you have Hunter's marked. And it's going to try its tail attack on Darmida as well. Is a 20... Wait, what is that? Hold on. 21.
That will hit.
Okay. So that's going to do 13 piercing. And I'm going to get you to do a Constitution saving throw. DC's not super high. Oh, but that roll was.
And I'm going to do another con save for my Hunter's Mark, because
Sure.
I'm assuming it's different.
Yeah. All you need's above a 10 on that one. Ooh, 22 and 21, respectively. All right, you are conning it out. Man, you tough lady. All right, and actually, as this thing swoops down at you, you hear this voice echo in your head. You're not sure if it's actually there or not, but for a second you hear this voice that goes,
Yeah, get him. Move your foot. Don't stand in one place. Good one.
and it's just gone out of the corner of your eye. All right, so you did make your save, but it still means you take half damage in this case. So that is going to be 9 points of poison damage. You are not poisoned beyond that, though. All right, you still up? Oh, you got a bit of healing, right? Okay, yeah. Coming up. I believe that's all the Bone Devils, or did I leave? Yep, that's all the Bone Devils. It is now top of the order, Darmida.
All right. I'm going to kind of dig my heel in and try to finish him.
Just standing your ground. Raise the bow. Make your rolls.
No, 12 damage.
Oh, I see. Sorry. I was misreading that. So 20, dirty 20 hits, doing 12 damage. Oof.
And my second one, 23.
23 hits.
Damage plus 16 damage.
16. Time. Nice. Oh, 83. Still, it's hissing, it's damaged, it's still... from the onslaught of arrows, it does take half a step back and hisses at you. As though it's like, oh, that was... But it is still up, about 10 feet away... 15 feet away from you now. Actually, it can't move on its turn. It's stuck there. Sorry, I forgot. All right, you're doing some decent damage, though, but it's still up. All right, coming up... Anything else you want to do?
Yeah, maybe. Just sorry. Oh, I know what I'm sorry. I was just looking for one more thing. No. I'm good.
Okay. You stand your ground. In fact, in that onslaught, you took half a step back and you were literally standing one leg on each side of Lulu's crumpled form. All right. Fenris. On deck is Valerie.
Right. I am going to I see this happening, and I'm going to quick cast telekinesis.
Nice.
And first, I'm going to target the one that is closest to, like the one that Darmida is hunter's marked and shooting.
Okay.
And I'm going to, as a bonus action, try to push it away.
Sure thing.
30 feet.
Okay.
Right?
Make your...
It's an ability check.
Yeah, make your ability check.
And
you beat it.
There we go.
With a 13, it only got a total of 10. So it goes so just almost preternatural. Like 1 second it's like, and then the next is like, flung backwards. And go ahead and roll 3d6 for me.
3d6. Okay. 13.
All right. It takes 13 damage as it slams into the tree, the petrified tree that's right behind it. And some of the branches impale and bludgeon, like stab and bludgeon it as you slam it into it. And then it goes a little bit further as you push it back. All right. That was your quick cast.
That was my quick cast. With so now it's restrained, by the way.
Nice.
Right? So it's caught in my telekinetic grip until the end of my next turn. With my action, I'm now going to target the other one that's close by in front of Darmida.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to try to fling it basically against the same tree, basically.
Nice.
30
You just
feet away.
hold them. All right. It is
Ability
actually
check.
impaled on the tree and like having to try and wiggle its way off. All right, go ahead.
Oh, it is? Okay, well, I'm gonna, as in a Simpsons Halloween
one.
special,
yeah.
I'm gonna basically try to get it to impale on top of it.
Nice. You're just stacking them like, yeah, that's awesome. All right, it's probably gonna work because I rolled a total of 9. 24. 24. All right, do me a favor, roll 66.
So I just, I'm running low on social points. I'm not going to empower that.
I'm not going to let you empower tree anyway.
No, power tree. Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
But
16. Basically, I just like reacting to the fact that like the first one, the tendril missed. I'm just like, oh, a shadow is just like go over my eyes, so all they see is the gold, and I just start flinging the other one as they start to come close.
Yeah, it's a black eye and then just a little ring of gold as your iris there. And you're marshmallow sticking them onto this tree. They're the marshmallow.
Okay.
All right. So, I think that's your turn, right? Or you want to move, or you're good where you are?
I'm going to stay close to the others, and that is my turn. So those two are now restrained to the end of my turn.
Nice. All right, let me mark that down real fast. Fellery, what do you want to do?
All right, well, I'm not feeling so well. However, I am surrounded by four of the Spine Devils, so I am... Which one's the weakest one that I hit already?
This one closest to the fire.
All right, so we'll go do an unarmed strike on that one.
Go for it. Roll above a 4, dude. Nice.
All right.
All right, 23. That is above a 4. Make your...
4 damage.
That's all right. Every little bit, man. Every little bit. You're doing more than you think. They're not as tough as the Bone Devils.
Attacks them again, because, well...
You give him a kick and it stops laughing at you. Hit at 19. That hits.
5.
All right. Oh, that one is definitely hurting, but it is still alive.
All right, I'm spending a key point, and I'm doing Flurry of Blows.
All right. Monk's bread and butter, baby.
Yeah, maybe so, however.
Get it,
alive.
18 hits.
Okay. 10 damage.
Boom. That one, you kick your first 2 hits, knock it kind of around, and the last roundhouse kick takes it in the face, and it goes spinning backwards through the flame wall and lands on the ground in a crumpled heap. That one is gone.
Oh,
you still have the second attack. You can go on something else if you want.
Yeah, I'll go with the one to the left there.
This is a mid-air battle over a flame wall in hell. If this doesn't say Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know what does.
Alright, 9 damage.
It's like 90s up in here. It's not quite 70s, you know. I did this in the 90s, so. Alright, 9 damage. Oof, that is a solid hit. It's still up, but it's like not laughing anymore, that's for sure. It's like hissing at you and flapping its wings. Alright, nicely done. Alright, coming up next, Henrietta. You lift the chin of this holy creature, this planetar, as its head tilts up towards you.
Stay with me. Stay with Pelor. Think of your devotion.
Good.
Let your word be your promise.
There.
Aid others. Protect the weak. Show mercy to your foes.
And when it speaks, it almost rattles your bones when this
Celestial,
thing.
for the record.
You stayed. When the cowards fled.
Hold on to your light. Don't let it go.
It is too late for me. Nishida, Lulu, you must, and it pushes, its wing, lifts its wing, and this massive wing, it's bigger than your entire body, and it just moves, and you see the glint of a hilt of this bluish steel blade, of the long sword. The blade itself actually stops just below the hilt, about 4 inches below the hilt as it motions towards you. This sword is bigger than your torso. Like, the handle is almost as big around as your torso, and the hilt is as wide as your shoulders, and it pushes it into your grasp.
Sure, I take it.
You must not let it fall.
I give you my word. If you give me one thing, tell me your name before you pass.
Remember me. For my name was Zariel.
Thank you. We did it! We did it, everybody!
Nice.
Right.
Zariel? Okay.
That's probably my whole turn, but in that last moment of the turn, I will try my best to heft this sword unsuccessfully. It'll just be like one of those, if I can, pivot around and, cock it on my shoulder, because I have to use my whole body to lift it. Can I make a strength check or something?
Yes, please. Please make a strength check. Oh, I can turn this off now.
Alright. Can I use athletics?
I love when the music lines up, baby. Alright, yeah, you can use athletics. Yeah, go for it.
Alright, I got 25.
25. You can move it, no problem. You can't wield it.
Right, yeah.
But you can move it.
It's more like a show, right? It's a show of good, faith. Yeah.
Alright.
And it's like a wide stand. This is like a wrestling pose, but I'm holding a sword, right? It's athletics. It's not fighting.
All right. So you've got this thing. You're holding it up. You're just like this. I've got this. All right. The whole thing is almost slow motion for you as you hold this thing aloft, and then the shadow passes over you. It's a much larger shadow than the spine devils were casting, and it just goes whoop, just past all of you for a second, and then swoops down. And Darmida, Fenris, I need you to do a dexterity saving throw. Ooh. All right, Darmida with a 27. You just duck and roll at the last second, this large shadow coming right down at you. And then right next to you, Gordon just gets plowed into and just thrown a good 15 feet. You do take a little bit of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Is there any way
from the
that
fling.
27, I could try to stabilize or catch him, or no?
Sure. Actually, he gets slammed into and goes flying by, and you dodge and just grab him and just, it's almost like the midair you catch and roll, and both of you just tumble. Your own wings up behind you and under your cloak kind of absorbing most of the impact. Neither of you take any damage, but you are pushed back a good maybe 10 or so feet this way as this large shadow creature, all right, one sec. It is shadowy. It is not actually a shadow. And it flings you to the side. I'm trying to change its color, but it's not working, so it's not gonna, whatever. This thing with all the multi dots on it lands down. You see these large wings, not quite as big as the Planetar, but almost. These large white wings as this form lands, and it scoops up Lulu in one hand, looks down at Henrietta, and just Henrietta, I'm gonna need you to do a you're staring at the face. You recognize instantly there's a Deva in front of you, large angel creature, woman standing in front of you, and she's reaching out, she's trying to grab the sword from you.
Beautiful. You want me to make no athletics to hold on?
Do you want to hold on, or do you want to let it go? She is not a hellish creature. You
can I recognize them? Like, can I make a religion check in this moment, or is it too?
I'm going to give it to you. I mean, the Planetar's right there. You look up, and it's like a slightly smaller version.
20.
20 of religion? Yes, this is an actual Deva. She's got...
Do I know them? Like, can I recognize them from, like, manuscripts and stuff? Like, is this like a named... Like, not that I know their name, but, like, do I recognize them as a historical figure in the religion?
This would... a 20? You definitely recognize the rank. Mm-hmm. You can tell by the armor. You can tell by the cloak, the vestments and the markings and the jewelry. It's a woman. She's got long, flowing, dark hair. She is wounded a little bit. She's got a bad cut over her head. She's seen some rough times. But she is a Deva, and she would be of the rank of the like Pelor's kind of.
Okay, I know what I want to do.
Actually, technically, you actually recognize immediately. She is of the Watcher branch of the celestial of the Pelor group. She is a Watcher. She's not a soldier. And you look back at the fallen Planetar, and you're like, that's a Watcher too. These are both from the Watchers. This is not the army side of things.
Right.
What are they doing here?
Yeah, I know what I want to do.
Okay.
She looks like she can pick up this sword. Like, she's like a huge...
She reaches out. She reaches out her massive hand and sees you there. And
I would like to hold on to the sword and allow myself to be picked up.
All right. Okay, so absolutely.
So I basically like hold it and step into her hand. I don't know if you know how big her hand is.
Oh, it's not quite that big, but she grabs.
Right, but you see what I'm saying? Like I grab onto the wrist and hold myself there. And
she scooped up the fallen old man, which actually you look now and it's in holy form again. There's this weird dream kind of back and forth. Okay, she grabs the sword and you hold on, and she lifts you both. She says, "Let's see what we can do about getting you out of here." And she leaps into the air and her wings just flap and she is moving.
Right.
You watched this Deva leave. Darmida, you recognize her. You were just mistaken for her. as your mother, Nishida, flies off, clutching Lulu, the old man, dragging along Henrietta, and flaps, and just the massive wingspan just carrying her off. The movement rate is, in D&D terms, is really high, so it's going to be really hard to catch her. Flying off, taking the sword away from the grip of the, away from danger. Henrietta is just being dragged right along.
Yep.
And the devils.
Take the sword. I think she needs it, but I will hold on to my word.
Yep,
anyway.
you're just going along for the ride. The spine devils, and everyone just kind of hisses, and a couple of the spine devils peel off after her. The bone devils kind of begin to circle around, and it's weird. They suddenly aren't interested in you. They suddenly start, oh, okay, those ones can't move because they're pinned to a tree. But the bone devils swarm around and begin binding the planetar in these iron spiked chains. They don't have, like, they're just not chain devil, but they've pulled out these chains and wrapping this planetar up, binding it on the ground, and the spine devils begin circling around, and just more and more of them coming. They don't appear to be paying any more attention to you as you watch the Deva flying off with the sword.
And I try and get as good a look as possible from this, like, unique vantage point for the hag.
You look around and you look down, and you can just make out her form on the slight rise. The flicker of the fire ring is what illuminates her face. And as you fly off, you can see this rapturous smile. It's one of the most terrifying things you've ever seen in your life on this hag. She's just watching the Deva fly away with the sword. And then she looks down at the planetar being captured by all these devils. And she almost shudders her shoulders, and she's like... And the scene, the light fades. And you're all standing there in the hallway again.
In the hallway, okay.
Well, Henrietta, you're not.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I just expected everyone to wake up or something. Cool. Keep going, yeah.
I'm gonna pop a potion, then.
Yeah, man.
Pop a dream potion.
Yeah, I'll be doing a dream healing word. Or rune.
I'm at 19 points, so.
Yeah. You're still up, though. That's got to count for something. So... You're all standing there, and the hag is with you, except for Henrietta, who is flung and actually gets the whole journey, the whole dream journey of flying over the hellscapes. You'll catch up with her in a second.
I just critted on
a heal. Nice.
On a heal.
Nice. Good 10 healing points. That's what you need. So the hag looks at you and smiles and says, "Well, that was more satisfying than I thought it might even be. Shall we see what happens next?" She looks expectantly at Fenris, Darmida, and Valerie, just...
We've come this far.
No. You've had your fun. You got what you needed from him.
Yes.
Send him. We've done what you've asked.
But did you get what you needed? Do you know where your bleeding citadel is?
That's the part that I want to see now. To answer your question, what Darmid is saying, we don't care anymore to see the fall of this planetar. We want to see where this location is as your end of the bargain.
All right. But I do want to just take a little peek. Don't worry. It won't take long. You don't need to watch. She turns to Darmida and you are just... How many hit points do you have left? I'm just curious. Can't be that much.
With my heal?
Yeah.
I just thankfully gave myself 44.
Nice. You're actually not too bad. All right.
I'm under half.
All right. Darling, it won't be so bad this time. Just watch your step. Trust, Mad Maggie. I'm beginning to grow fond of you all. She extends her arm as though to, like, offer her arm to Darmida. A handful of redcaps step out from behind her almost out of nowhere and kind of brush you off and clean you up a little bit. It's a little disconcerting.
I'll humor her.
That girl. She points to another door. This one further down the hall this time. And it is a hole in the... no, the last one was a hole in the side. This one is a perfectly spherical door with just a tiny little doorknob. It's almost undersized, and Maggie nods to it, and one of the redcaps goes utterly towards it and like takes 3 of them to pry it open, and it opens up, and on the far side you can see this vast barren landscape of utter destruction, black sludge rising up out of the ground, enveloping the low areas around you. At which point, Maggie turns to you all and says, "Don't let the sludge consume you. Push through. Come on, let's have a look. Find your friend. Dreams are not a place one wants to be alone." And so, can I get you all to to cross the sludginess? You're going to need to do either an acrobatics check or a strength check to kind of get across the sludgy piles of terrain, to either hop from stone to stone or to just trudge through it.
Why? I can take us all across.
Nice. Oh, okay. And Valerie can fly.
Yes.
Yeah, like Bella can fly, Valerie can fly, I can hover.
Yeah, you can
I assume I still have telekinesis.
Yeah, you do.
Right?
So you just, and Darmida, and you just lift up, and the hag's like, resourceful, nice. And you all go through, and just do a perception check for me, everybody.
Eight, unfortunately.
You're busy flying there, Valerie. You don't see a whole lot. As it's a hellscape, 16. And you're just going over.
13.
Fenris, you see a little scrap of a light, almost white color, just floating on the surface or sticking up out of just a little bit of the bog, just below you. It just kind of catches your eye, it stands out.
Oh, I'll just kind of lift it up with telekinesis. And
well, you're focused on keeping you up, but you can do mage hand easy enough.
I can mage hand then.
Yeah, so you mage hand and it comes away no problem and flickering along. The Maggie is just walking along the surface of this sludge and just right on the surface as though it's just normal ground, and the red caps are getting stuck and drowning below, and like one of them dies behind. You flick this thing up towards you, and Maggie's a little ahead, so you kind of trail a bit back, and you see this thing. You're like, wait, what is that? You use your mage hand to pull it up, and you grab it, and it's got some sludge on it, so it's hard to tell what it is, but it's a piece of fabric.
Oh, well, prestidigitization the sludge off. And
okay.
Does it look like the blankie, or the other half? Or?
It's another piece of it. It's not a full half or anything, but it is more of it, and it does. I mean, the wonder of prestidigitation, it does have more of that writing on it.
Okay. So the first is what? You said prima?
Prima ma.
Prima ma.
And then the
Now,
second.
what does this one say?
This appears to be the next piece, which is the first 3 words that you heard whispered to you by that shade. Esu de reto was the first one. Then it's prima material, and then the last word or 2 is ripped. It only looks like it's going to be another couple of words.
Okay.
And it's etched, and it is your weirdest thing is it's your own handwriting.
Essa dusa rito prima
But
material.
It's young you scribbled this with a piece of charcoal.
Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, you guys go past this no problem. Hold on. I'm reading the book. I'm like, wait, that's not it. That's not what I want. Okay. So that didn't make any sense. All right. So you crest over the hill and you see Zariel now, bound, beaten, both eyes torn out from its face, wings and everything. The blood of the planetar streaming down, and standing in front is this massive red-skinned devil. It is just like at a glance, it's at least a pit fiend inside, even bigger, and it's surrounded by a throng of devils, and you can hear this other presence, and it just rattles the stones. And it's positioned in such a way that there's the planetar on one side, it's ringed around, and then there's the other pit fiend, and then they're both looking up at something. And when it speaks, it just rattles the whole landscape, and the devils lie prostrate around before this voice in the sky. And you hear the broken tones. Sorry, was that Valerie?
Are we gonna go after him or? Never mind.
Mad Maggie looks at you and says, "This is it. This is the moment." And you can hear the celestial being, the planetar, pledging itself to the eternal battle. One sec. Sorry, gotta find the thing. In Celestial, it's saying,
"And I pledge myself to the eternal fight. Lord Asmodeus, yours, always."
And at that moment, it begins to hiss and crackle, and its skin kind of begins to change, and the voice from the sky, this unbelievably, almost imperceptibly massive voice, is so difficult to even understand, and says something in Infernal that those who understand Infernal take as,
"Arise, Eye of Pelor, servant of Asmodeus. You will reign over the first layer of the Hells. Let Avernus be yours. And Bel, you shall be the right hand. Win my fight for me. Bring me mortals to swell the ranks and crush the demon hordes. And you will be rewarded. And we shall ever fight
And after they say, "We shall ever fight," all the devils echo that, "We shall ever fight," and they raise this massive clamor, and you can hear the last voice calling out was the voice of the Planetar, once Planetar, now Archdevil, the Archdevil that is the Eye of Pelor, once Zariel.
And we shall ever fight.
The hag motions you all back. It is probably best they don't find us here. Come. This way. And she motions off over another hill off to your far right. You go, I'm assuming? And
yeah,
this swoop goes past you all. Doesn't seem to see you as this Deva, almost not making sense in the way that dreams do. Just cut to this swooping Deva being harried along the way by a variety of flying devils and a couple of demons too. Lulu is now conscious and fluttering beside in Holophant form next to this. You hear this blast of trumpet. And you see this blast of all these devils that were rising up to block this Nishida, the Deva, from escaping with the sword. You see Henrietta just clinging, almost comically, just legs flailing along below, this sword dangling from the Deva's hand. And every once in a while, a demon or devil will get too close, and either the Deva will slash at it with her own sword, which is a strange yellowish hilt that looks very familiar, although it is enlarged. It's larger than you've seen in Archibald's hand. And you see, and she's holding Lulu's flying on his own now in Holophant form, and in that other hand, the offhand, she's holding the sword that was Zariel's sword, and Henrietta is hanging off of that, and her, Nishida's own blade carving her way through the sky, just flight after flight of devil attacking, and after a while, just desperate to get away, a horn devil tackles them out of the sky. Go ahead and do a acrobatics check for me, Henrietta.
Sure. Acrobatics. 16?
That is a save. You're going to take half damage as Nishida falls out of the sky, just taking one hit too many, and you go flying off, flung from the sword, but all of you flung down in the kind of the same vicinity. The rest of you are busy trying to catch up. The hag floating along with you, just there they are, and you see them fall. They were flying, and then this crater into the sky. They were probably a good 60 feet up when that happened. So, and this is where my homebrew rules are going to come back and hurt you there. So this is
this what the dex save was for?
Yeah.
Or was that for something else?
This is acrobatics to shrug a little
right,
bit of the damage.
It wasn't the dex save, it was an acrobatics. Okay, fair enough.
Exactly. So
sorry to interrupt. When they fell, how far away were they from us, the rest of us? Like, did you say 60 feet?
I don't know. Do you want to spend a plot point?
I do want to spend a plot point. So I assume we're no longer
tell you
on the
what.
sludge.
No, you're up in the air. You're tracking along behind. You are. I'll say you're close enough to maybe get Henrietta.
Okay. So
Lulu's flying, and the angel, the Deva, is plummeting, but she's a little bit beyond. She's more like 80 feet or so. But Henrietta, if you spend a plot point, would be within 60 feet.
Sure, I'll spend a plot point. I assume we're no longer above sludge or like having to be that high in the air.
You guys are only about 20 feet up, I'd say.
Okay.
Because you've been flying along, unless you wanted to walk.
I figured we were walking if we're no longer on sludge, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, you're trucking along, and then you look up and you see them fall, and you have to time it just right as Henrietta falls into range. So go ahead and make your ability check to catch her.
Okay, to catch her.
I mean, that's a.
I still be fine.
That's like a contested thing if I'm resisting, and I'm not.
No,
If
you're not resisting.
Gravity, I don't know if there's like.
There's a threshold. You gotta
21.
get above it. Oh yeah, you beat that threshold.
Cool.
It was only a DC 15 to catch her. So you go falling, and you're like, ah, ah, and you go falling down, and just like 10 feet above the ground, it's just
That
you
would have
hang
been like
there.
12d6.
Yeah, that would have been 12d6. That might have been it for you. Maybe not. I mean, you're a
Probably
tank.
not.
You're just hovering above this, and you're just like, okay, and you see the Deva hit the ground, and you see Nishida just rolling at the impact and rise up, and she is just wrecked. But all these attacks and everything, you see her kind of rise to one hand, using her own sword to help her up, lights up her own sword again, and she's just looking around. The Hollyphant sees her fall and whoosh, dives down next to her and hovering next to her, and she Nishida looks to the Hollyphant and says, "We can't keep this up for much longer. We've got to." And she bats away another devil that comes bashing. They're about 40 feet away from you at this point. Do you want to close or do you want to watch? What do you want to do?
I assume we're going to close to help. They're only 40 feet away.
Sure.
So what's...
Darmida, there is one spine devil that's pretty close to attacking Nishida. There's about 8 of them and 2 horn devils.
Yeah. So I'm guessing I just lost my hunter's mark. So I have my boots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to. Would this be considered a new battle?
Yeah.
All right. So with my boots, I have an extra 10 feet of distance, so I'm going to go where the hell is the... Oh, it's the same as my walking speed, so 30 50 feet, which will close me to...
Yeah, you can get right up into it. Yep, you'll be right up in there.
Yeah, I'm going right up and far enough away from him that I can still shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to take my attacks on him.
On the horn devil?
On the horn devil going after my mother.
Absolutely. So make your attacks.
I mean, she's a dream mommy, but she's still my mommy.
Yeah, it's weird. You've seen what became of your mother, the undead thing.
Is that a miss?
What was yours? With a 16 on a horn devil?
Yeah, assuming that's in this...
Yeah, that's probably... yep, that is a miss, just...
I'm going to use my ability to my Stalker's Flurry. Oh, sorry, Stalker's Flurry, not Fury. What?
Am I the only one who can't see the map?
I blacked it out. I'll show you in just 1 second.
No problem. Hey, I thought it might have been a Roll20 thing, so...
Mother effer. Okay, well, that definitely misses.
The 2 arrows past the horn devil does, however, get its attention as it looks back at you. It says, infernal, it called out to its allies, the spine devils, says, "Look to the rear. There's more." You guys can go ahead and move yourself down to that map. It's just a little bit south of where you were currently.
A 17 hit it?
17? Actually, with this, you have advantage, because actually the very first attack you would have had advantage. I'm sorry. So go ahead and re-roll that very first one. Second one, no, but second one definitely still misses, but you have advantage on that first one. They do not see you coming.
So the 12 was a re-roll. The one was, so would I, that was my re-roll because I've got my Stalker's Flurry.
Oh, okay. Well, you'd re-roll your very first attack. So you still have one more attack basically that didn't miss.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, and I very much could be.
I should have 2 more.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, totally confused here.
That's okay.
So I missed with the 16. I used my ability to re-roll, and I got the 1.
Mm-hmm.
So
both of those should have been an advantage.
Yes, that's true. So yeah, go ahead and roll 2 more times.
One way to think of it, Bella, is that the 16 and the 12 are your advantage.
Yeah.
And then your Stalker's Flurry is a 17. So your first attack is a miss. You have 2 more attacks.
So I have 2 more attacks. That's what I thought. Yeah. And
Do you not keep the advantage on Stalker's Fury? You might not. I'm not sure.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Roll 2 more times.
Yeah, roll 2 more times.
Okay, so
20 does hit.
27.
27 definitely hits.
And then the second one will be a...
This one's just straight though, but yeah. It doesn't matter, it's 22. That both of them hit.
So that's 10, 16 plus my D8. 20, yeah, 21.
21 points of damage. Just this horn devil is swooping in, kind of getting real close to your mom as she's standing there on the ground, the Hollyphant next to her, and all of a sudden turns back, its massive leathery wings, and it motions you and says, "Circle. We will take it as a prize." And I
look at my mom in the eyes.
She looks at you and she literally drops her sword. She is so like, no! And she looks at you and she's like, "Darmida? How are you?"
Pick it up and fight.
The old man, the Hollyphant next to it swoops down and grabs the little yellow hilted, the large yellow hilted thing, and starts dragging it towards her. And she motions. She says, "Use it." And the Hollyphant kind of just holds this sword, and she turns and she ignites the blue blade of Zariel in her hand, and she's like, "I'm glad you're here. At the end. Hold them off. I don't need much time." And she looks back at Lulu, and you see the Hollyphant morph into like a smaller Deva version. Polymorphs into that, holding the yellow sword, ignites it. We're going to keep the same order from the last one just to save some time. You have 1 round. You need to buy them. That was your surprise round. Darmida, what do you want to do?
Oh, then I will bonus action cast Hunter's Mark at a 3rd level.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take my attacks.
I'm just going to make a very large That one is the Bone Devil. All right.
There's how many of them?
There's one Bone Devil, and actually, that appears to be it for now. The rest of them are all kind of keeping range and circling around. There is more coming. There's like a legion of them coming. The sky with all these flying devils is making its way here, but this one is right amongst you, but the rest are on their way.
So I don't have advantage anymore, I don't think.
No.
23.
23 hits.
11.
Okay.
And then the second attack is a...
You just give your mother a nod and you're like, bow up. First shot strikes true. Second shot critical. Bam. That one just, first shot hits in the shoulder. Second shot hits her right below the right eye. How much damage?
Is doubled as well? Or just... Yeah.
The crit is already... Oh yeah, the D6 is doubled. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, D6 gets doubled.
That's... Yeah.
18. 28 total. 29 total.
Oh.
29 total.
Oh, ow, 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 that's, 61. Ow, yo, that's a good shot. It's a beast. These things are tough. You remember from when they swarmed you earlier. Coming up next, Fenris.
This is the only one closest to us.
Close, in immediate range, yes.
And I just need to buy a little bit of time, huh?
Mm-hmm. And Nishida, this Deva looks at you as you say that. She says, yes. I won't need long.
Fine, I'll give you the time you need. Bonus action, I'll use my last sorcery points, and I'll summon the Hound of El Omen next to in front of the Horn Devil.
Absolutely.
And as I've done once before, just a shadowy mist just starts to come wrapping around the Horn Devil.
All right. And it gets a save, if I remember correctly.
An intelligence save.
Not with advantage. Oof.
Not with advantage. No.
Anybody want to spend a plot point in the
Can
audience?
I spend a luck point? Can I spend my last luck point?
I don't think
That
luck
is technically true.
No.
Actually,
Probably can't.
I never
Can't you?
spend them. I have not
you know what?
like
Darmida,
10.
because of the moment, and I love that moment so well, she's spending a plot point, and you are spending your luck point to make them reroll. Is that fair?
So almost like as if it's at
Spending the
disadvantage.
rules a
Okay.
little. Exactly.
All right.
It's a
Isn't
bad.
that just literally what luck does?
It is,
Or is
but
that
that's
only
usually
attack rolls?
only
Luck
attacks.
doesn't do that.
Not usually on
It's
saves.
attack rolls? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let it go because that was such a clutch moment, and you're spending the plot point. Now we calculate intelligence. You say that is the one it's actually not phenomenal at. Wow. That is a 10. It fails.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't think it would pass with a 9 roll, but.
Well,
okay.
the rest, every other save is +7, so might have.
Crap. Oh crap.
Intelligence was the only one.
Okay.
Strength,
So it
dex,
takes
wisdom save. Oh, it doesn't have con either.
takes 12 damage,
All right.
but it is restrained. The shadows form around it, and there's all these. Amidst it is the Hound of El Omen, but there's all these maws and wolves and numerous amber eyes just encircling it, all around it, tearing at it, biting at it.
Nice. Absolutely. All right.
Is that a concentration spell?
It is. So I drop
Yeah.
my
Cool.
telekinesis.
So it's just like a swoom.
You
It's
fall
like
the
a-
last 10
drop
feet.
the last like 3 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 10 actually. That's okay. Yeah. All right, Valerie, what do you want to do?
So, with that going around, can I close in and do some stuff, or if I close in, do I get affected?
You can
It's-
close in.
You can't even see it. It's in its head.
Yeah.
All right.
It's translucent. You can kind of see something there, but that's it. It just looked like wisps of shadow encircling it, and it's like reacting. What do you want to do?
I'll move in, and I'll do 2 strikes.
You have advantage, by the way.
Excellent. So let's go with Talon. First one is 21.
That's a hit.
And that's 7.
All right.
And that's it.
You guys have done
good.
80 points of damage to it. Do you want to, got any surprises for us, Monk?
I will use, this second attack, do I have advantage on the second one? Or?
Mm-hmm.
It's restrained, so all your attacks have advantage.
Alright, so... Well, for the first one, I'll use a key point and do stunning strike.
Sure thing. Just flies in there. Whack!
And that's a con saving throw.
Oh, that is only a 10. It is stunned.
Alright. And I will use another key point to do flurry of blows. So, because I don't think that a 14 hit him, right?
No, 14 misses.
Yeah. So let me.
You're tough. You hit it technically, but your hand is like hitting a rock.
Well, it's not a 14. It's
it's 23.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
23.
Yeah.
Oh, was it 23?
Okay,
Yeah,
so that would
all
hit
your
too.
attacks have advantage.
Yeah.
All right. So then let me roll the damage for it. I'll still keep the rolls for the flurry
that's
blows,
fair.
but the previous damage was another 7.
Nice.
Then 26 for
Yep, that hits.
flurry blows. That'll be 6 damage, and then the last hit for flurry blows. Natural 20.
Oh, nice. All right, double this dice, whatever you roll. Just the dice, though. Oh, nice. So that is a 6, which is a 12 plus 3 is 15. Whew, that is a big round. Bam. Oh, that's 118. This thing is just stunned and immobilized and restrained and just being beat on by Valerie. Wings just flying all over the place.
Others are fucking shrieking everywhere.
Absolutely. So while there's this madness going on, Henrietta, what do you want to do or say?
You know me too well. So I let go of the sword at some point, apparently.
Well, you fell off of it. You got knocked into the sky.
I was holding on to it. I was like, knocked off or something.
Yeah.
I lost my grip.
Yeah, you lost your grip. So you're nearby.
All right, cool.
And she is now holding the sword ignited. This bluish blade.
Grinder 333. Thanks for subscribing. You rock. Grinder 333 said, "Waz sap nerds."
Hey, Gramdar, how's it going?
Streamlabs.
Good to see you. That's Phil,
Said,
guys.
Grinder 333 just subscribed with tier 1.
Oh, thanks so much for the sub. I appreciate that.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks very much. You're here right at the end as Henrietta turns to Nishida and says,
Yeah, I do. I hold out my hands, like both, because I need to use like the. And I look up at her and I say, "Please hand me the sword. This may just be a dream, but I made a promise."
"I'm sorry. I can't give it away. I have to put it where none of these creatures can get it."
Show me, and I'll protect it. I'll follow through on my word.
All right. And she locks eyes with you. And she says, "You will be able to find it when the time is right."
Right.
She raises it above her head, blade down, jams it into the earth, and the whole place has a shockwave. You stay on your feet, but it's just barely. And the blueness of the blade starts scrawling along the ground, taking over just shoving the awful earth of hell away. And in its place is this bluish crystalline cathedral starts growing up around all of you. It's slow to grow. And you can see Nishida just raise this scream like, ah! And Lulu next to her raises it, and you see the old man almost comically has this elephantine snout and just joins in the scream. And Nishida just falls to her knees. She says, it's not enough. And Lulu says, and reaches behind Lulu's self with the yellow blade, the sun blade, and just slices off one of his own wings, and then grabs it and wraps it around both Nishida and the blade, and all of a sudden there's this massive pulse, and all of you and them are just shunted, and it's one of those things where you're suddenly pushed, and your own bodies would have been flung. And certainly Nishida was flung one way, Lulu's body was flung the other, and you're just standing there in the dreamscape. And the whole cathedral growing up in front of you. And then the land just trying to cover it like a scab. You see the bleeding cathedral in front of you. You watch Nishida go over there and be just swarmed by a whole bunch of more devils. And over here you see Lulu flung, and you just see bloop, into the sticks, the red liquid just swallowing it up. And you see it come paddling to the surface for a few seconds, getting a good snout full of it, and then struggling to the edge of the river. And you're all just standing there like, okay.
Yeah.
And Lulu and Maggie are standing next to you again, kind of almost hovering a few feet off the shaken ground. And Maggie is just kind of chuckling, and Lulu sits. The old man takes Darmita's hand, gives it a squeeze, and says, "Hi, the sword. I know where it is." And that's where we're going to end the night.
Born devil, get pushed, because it does take 10 die damage.
Oh, it just gets... roll your 10d10. Do it. It totally got shoved by the blast of the sword. Just shredded.
Alright, takes another 75.
That did it! Nice.
I'm back.
All right. So that's that round. You all wake up after this, and we'll do that next time. So that'll be hopefully next Thursday. Thanks very much for playing, guys. And we went a little bit long. I'm sorry about that. But that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And thanks very much for watching, Internet. And thanks so much for the sub there, Grimdor. And Syntax, take care. Take care of yourself. Take care of everybody. And if you're listening to this after the fact, please, give us some love and share this around, and join us for live games if you want to have a say in things. Any more shout-outs or messages?
Syntax Singularity said, "You too."
Yeah, take care, eh? All right, before we go, we do always like to take viewer suggestions or player suggestions for titles. So what do you guys think that tonight's title should be?
I don't know, but I like the song. Not the title, though.
Grinder 333
Ooh.
Said. Swords to plowshares.
That works, actually. That works nice.
Mm-hmm.
Swords to plowshares. All right.
Very Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Fantastic. All right. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. That's going to be our title for the night for sure. We'll be back in a week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And be safe out there, everybody.
Darmita learned more about Mom.
You got to fight alongside your mom. How awesome was that? I was just like, is this really going to Oh, awesome. Yeah, that was fun. And Lulu got the sword, so last you saw, that Sunblade went with her. I love it when to quote the A-Team, I love it when a plan comes together. I couldn't have planned that.
I gotta ask, it might be a next week kind of thing, but if you have something prepared, does Darmita learn anything from this?
Ooh, good call.
I feel like this is a Darmita learning something situation.
I think it was, and I had something planned if she'd gone into her door, but I don't have a plan for this. I think I'm gonna have to think about that. Internet, you're welcome to make some suggestions too. Like, what did she discover? Like, her history was definitely on there. Good point. I think we'll check that out next week. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Give you time to
Thanks so
easily
much for
plot.
tuning in. We try to record all of our games as much as possible, whether that's Dungeons and Dragons or Shadowrun or another tabletop role-playing game. Just a quick side note about all the licenses and copyrights involved. Our music is all Creative Commons attribution music on our live stream video feed or YouTube replay or Twitch VOD. We always attribute each individual artist, so be sure to check out those individual artist attributions. Lots of love to so many people who make their work available so that we can do what we do. So thank you. It influences our game. It makes it immeasurably better. So much appreciation for them. Let's not forget the makers of the games. Dungeons & Dragons is copywritten by Wizards of the Coast. They own it. They make it available to all of us to play, and it's wonderful. We are in no way affiliated with them, and nor do they endorse this podcast, but we are very appreciative. The other game we often play is Shadowrun, which is Catalyst Games, and again, we are not affiliated with them, and they do not endorse us, but we really appreciate their game, and we hope you appreciate our game. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitch and YouTube, and watch for those live games once we're streaming them out. And of course, we do accept suggestions for names, so please hit us up on Instagram and name our stuff. All right, thanks so much. I'm Todd, and this has been SideQuest Live. We'll see you again soon.